A St. George man is heading back to prison after pleading guilty to multiple theft and fraud charges in a plea deal. And a Washington City woman has entered a guilty, mentally ill plea in the 2024 double murder of her parents, with sentencing set for December. Plus, we'll have your weekend weather and more coming up next.
You're watching St. George News at 5, brought to you by our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law.
A St. George man is heading back to prison after cutting a deal that dropped dozens of charges. 34-year-old Cody Jared Russin pleaded guilty to 9 counts tied to a string of thefts and fraudulent bank card use across Washington County. In exchange, 43 charges were dismissed. Despite pleas for probation and treatment, Judge Jay Winward sentenced Russin to concurrent prison terms of up to 15 years for the firearm thefts and other felonies. A Washington City woman has pleaded guilty while mentally ill to killing her parents and trying to shoot her brother in a 2024 double murder case. Sentencing for 30-year-old Mia Bailey is set for December. Here is the latest from 5th District Court.
Ms. Bailey, what is your plea to count 1? Aggravated murder, first-degree felony.
Guilty and mentally ill.
A Washington County woman has pleaded guilty, mentally ill, in a double murder case that has shocked the community. 29-year-old Mia Bailey, a transgender woman who legally changed her name and gender in 2023, appeared before District Judge Keith C. Barnes on Thursday. Bailey pleaded guilty, mentally ill, to 2 counts of aggravated murder and 1 count of aggravated assault as part of a plea deal with prosecutors. The charges stem from the 2024 shooting death of both her parents, Joseph and Gail Bailey, in their home in Washington City. Initially, Bailey faced 9 first-degree felonies, including aggravated murder and attempted murder. But most of those charges were dropped under the plea agreement. The sentencing has been set for December 19th at the 5th District Court here in St. George. Until then, Bailey remains in jail at the Purgatory Correctional Facility. Read the full story by Cody Blowers on stgeorgenews.com. Now let's take a look at your weekend weather forecast, brought to you by Casablanca Resort and Casino. In St. George, we'll see highs around 75 today with a low near 47. Then warming slightly to 76 Saturday and cooling to 45. On Sunday, look forward to a high of 77 with the low dropping to 45. Over in Mesquite, Nevada, expect highs near 79 today with a low of 54 tonight. You should see a high of 81 and low of 53 on Saturday. And on Sunday, things are looking nice with sunny skies, a high of 83 and a low of 54. Up in Cedar City, the weekend stays pleasant with highs around 64 and lows reaching 34 today. Saturday, look for the temperatures to reach 63 before dropping to 32 that night. And Sunday, the high should reach 64 again and lows dropping to 34 Sunday night. A dog that mauled a 5-year-old boy in Hurricane has now been deemed vicious, and city officials say they intend to euthanize the animal. Police say the dog remained aggressive during its 10-day quarantine following the October 25th attack. Meanwhile, young Leo, who suffered severe facial injuries, is back in the hospital recovering from an infection and a newly discovered jaw fracture. St. George Police and AAA are reminding drivers to slow down and move over for roadside responders, calling it a constant struggle to keep emergency crews safe. Maury Kessler gives us some reasons why many drivers still aren't following the law and the deadly risks that follow.
Because if someone comes off the road and hits me at that speed, it's game over.
That's how St. George Police Officer Tiffany Mitchell describes what it feels like working just feet from freeway traffic, and that it is a constant struggle getting drivers to slow down or move over for flashing lights. National Move Over Day came and went last month, but AAA and Utah law enforcement say the need to remind motorists of the law is constant. Under Utah law, drivers must change lanes or slow down when passing any vehicle stopped with emergency or amber lights. It's not just police and firefighters, but highway maintenance crews and tow truck drivers too. Mitchell says too many people don't realize how dangerous it is.
I was on I-15 last night, and it is scary to be on the freeway speeds of people just zooming right past you. So yeah, it was terrifying, and it was sad for me to see that hardly anybody moved over.
AAA reports only 64% of drivers follow the law. 46 responders were also killed nationwide last year helping stranded motorists. Failing to move over is an infraction with a fine and mandatory traffic school, and far worse if someone gets hurt.
Thank you for watching St. George News at 5. To learn more about our studio sponsor, We Win Injury Law, go to wewininjurylaw.com. I'm Monica McLaughlin with St. George News, your #1 source for local news.
This has been St. George News at 5, brought to you by We Win Injury Law.